I publish this only as a kind of idea out of the very past, 1948. Well, in those days the first atomic experiments were done, especially by the United States in those days. Anyway, well, this is simple. Not simple, of course not simple. Article, Philips Technical Review. The Philips Technical Review was published between the early 1920s and up to 1983, as far as I know. But anyway, this could be interesting, so I skip over here. X-ray spectrometer with Geiger counter for measuring powder diffraction patterns. Well, that's very specific. I have to switch off in my kitchen. Well, anyway, sorry for that. It was not my aim, anyway. Well, you can read it here, and that's the only thing that I can tell here. Read it here, all the, say, important things. And of course that these Philips magazines were very good and in a kind of way unique in those days in the Netherlands. 1948, just say 3 years past 1945, when the war, the World War II in the Netherlands was stopped. So anyway, this could be interesting. Say, I will only show the things as they are, perhaps with some explanation. Say, polycrystalline specimen is placed in a monochromatic X-ray beam, and the rays are diffracted at, they say, a Bragg angle. Well, that's new for me. What is the Bragg angle? But anyway, they are diffracted. That's important. And here other idea. Diffraction of a beam of X-rays impingent on a crystal. Diffraction pattern of a specimen obtained on a photographic film. The rings are intersections of the film with the series of cones shown in figure 2. Well, perhaps it refers in a certain way to, say, bombarding crystals with X-rays, and then we see certain diffraction patterns, of which you can, say, derive the crystal, what it is, and how these say X-ray waves act on the crystal. So you can in a certain way determine the crystal, the properties of the crystal. Anyway, well, other part of this very interesting article, hope it's a little bit interesting. Geiger counter tube for X-ray measurements along the axis of the cylindrical electrode, which forms part of the tube wall. A straight wire electrode is placed. Between these electrodes a high DC voltage is applied, where the wire is acting as an anode. Well, that is in fact not very new. And then I mean that on the World Wide Web, via Google, you can also find these things. But of course, this is a professional Geiger tube. Well, the principles of the Geiger tube are not very difficult to understand. Say, when you have a wire here inside and there is a certain voltage here, static voltage, when say a radioactive particle enters the tube, there is ionization, and that is very specific, by the way. But anyway, I will only tell something about the very simple properties. There's ionization, and that means that there is a voltage drop inside the tube, and you can detect that voltage drop, that sudden voltage drop, as a kind of click at the between the two electrodes of that tube. I've made a Geiger counter in the past, and well, this is, say, in a certain way the same. Not the same, of course, but anyway, the principles are the same. It's about ionization, perhaps even not ionization, but say a kind of voltage drop, sudden voltage drop that is there when a radioactive particle enters the tube. Anyway, more about this all. Well, I will stop this video now. Oh, this is perhaps interesting to see. Geiger counter, spectrometer. Well, all the parts are showed. Could be interesting. Making a Geiger counter is in fact not very difficult. I've made one in the past, etc. But of course, that was a hobby circuit. This is a professional circuit. And this is not about the Geiger counter, but about the spectrometer. So, thanks for watching. Of course, this was a very old, in a certain way, an old saying, an old an old spectrometer here, the Geiger counter spectrometer, a strip card recorder. Well, nowadays we can see that in chemistry laboratories, not in such a bulky way. Thanks for watching.